Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about having a Leo sun and a Pisces ascendant in a natal chart. Now, there's obviously a tremendous disparity between these two signs. You have the outgoing, extroverted Leo sun, and Pisces ascendant could be rather more passive, submissive, and more reticent, more humble, more introverted and shy. And the thing is, the rising sign or ascendant represents their outer demeanor. So this person, the camouflage that they wear, so to speak, as far as what others readily see, is a lot more introverted and more private, and about just really to themselves a little bit more a shyer. This is definitely a more shyer side. The facade they're going to show as opposed to their sun in Leo, and this is a person. When you look at this, they could vacillate perhaps between extroversion and introversion, with the extroversion, of course, the sun in Leo, and the introversion, the Pisces ascendant. And obviously the this water ascendant will tone down the fiery temperament of the sun in Leo very strongly. And this could be a person that might be a lot more sensitive and really not nearly as confrontational as like a sun in Leo. And it's not that they don't have any fortitude and courage, but what it is that stronger side with the fortitude and courage is going to be somewhat suppressed because the sun in Leo is more strongly connected with this. Pisces rising can be courageous in their own way. Don't get me wrong, all signs can. They can maybe stick up for others in kind of subtle, quiet ways, but not as much as a strong confrontational manner is what I'm saying. Now, the thing about this is the sun sign represents our basic wants, and the ascendant or rising sign can represent the manner or method in which one attains these basic wants. So having the sun in Leo, well, the basic wants can be connected with notoriety, attention seeking, adulation, being dominant or king in some respect, even if it's just in the community or at their job that they work at. Their things connected with pride and ego. And these basic wants of Leo, perhaps they're attained through Pisces rising idealism, through Pisces rising compassion somehow, through an ability perhaps to overlook maybe transgressions of others and to overlook the adverse side of things to some degree of people perhaps, and to see the positive in things and in circumstances. And could also be through a Pisces-like profession, such as perhaps filmography, something with illusion like special effects in movies, perhaps something connected with spirituality, maybe something with the metaphysical, something that can be perhaps associated with water. It could be something like oceanography, and it could be some kind of sea exploration. It may be something connected with that, like a Pisces like thing. And someone with Leo sun and Pisces ascendant, Pisces rising, can be somewhat ambivalent, and obviously they may not be quite as decisive, and they're not nearly as fixed in purpose as the typical sun in Leo. They could be somewhat ambiguous, and they might not have that direction as strong as a sun in Leo would have. Now, it's important to look at the aspect that the sun in Leo makes to the Pisces ascendant. Now, in many cases, you know that it's inconjunct by sign, which is adversarial, where there's a conflict as far as the signs go. But in many cases, you'll have an inconjunct aspect take place between the sun in Leo and the Pisces ascendant. Now, let's say that the sun in Leo is at 17 degrees and the Pisces ascendant is at 15 degrees. This would form an inconjunct aspect, and this could intensify the negative. As far as having that conflict in the signs, you have it in the aspect that would intensify these differences a little bit more. And you might get feelings of maybe being misconstrued or misunderstood by others, which could lead to some kind of inner exasperation and tension. And even if the person is not cognizant of these astrological placements, they may still feel this way, because they may feel what they're projecting as far as their outer demeanor and what they're showing others can be strongly different than what is going on inside, represented by the sun sign. Now, the same could be true if you have an out-of-sign opposition between the Sun in Leo and the Pisces Ascendant. Let's say that your Leo Sun is 29 degrees and that the Pisces Ascendant is 1 degree. Well, that would be an out-of-sign opposition, which is adverse. And just in like the InConjunct, you could have those feelings perhaps of being misconstrued or misunderstood, and having that tension, exasperation that I was telling you about with the InConjunct aspect. Now, let's say that you have a trine aspect between, you can have an out-of-sign trine aspect between the Leo Sun and the Pisces Ascendant. Now, let's say that you have a Leo Sun at 1 degree, and for example, and if the Pisces Ascendant is at 29 degrees. This would form an out-of-sign trine aspect, which is auspicious, and you could have a little more of a positive blending or integration of these energies. Now, they're still, by sign, they're in conflict. They're in conjunct by as far as the zodiac signs go, and you still have that little conflict regardless, because of the disparity between the energy of the Sun in Leo and the Pisces rising. But they might blend in a little bit better, having a trine aspect. It would be out of sign trine aspect, of course. Now, it's important to also look at the house placement of the Sun in Leo. Even though the Pisces rising may suppress the Sun in Leo characteristics to some degree, the Sun in Leo energy may still come out at least fairly prominently in that particular house that it resides in. Now, let's say that the Sun in Leo is posited in the 4th house. Well, this could indicate that need to be king, that dominance may come out strongly in their home environment with their family. And it could be one of those where you see that energy, that extroverted energy, come out very strongly. Now, let's say that the Sun in Leo is posited in the 5th house. Well, this would correspond with the natural house, the house that corresponds with Leo. So you might have that Leo energy come out fairly strong in this placement. It could also come out strong in the 4th house as well. What I stated before, the 4th house is an angular house. And it could also come out pretty strong in the 5th house, because the 5th house does correspond with the zodiac sign Leo. So you could have a little bit more of an intensified Leo energy in that house. Now, in that extroversion, that generosity, that magnanimous side may come out in 5th house matters, such as children, if applicable, romance, could come out in things of fun and amusement, and even some extravagance. Be careful in speculation. Now, let's say that the Sun in Leo is in the 6th house. Well, this Leo energy may come out strongly in matters connected with service, health, and work. And this person might be the type that might spend a lot of money, be somewhat extravagant or generous, so to speak, on matters connected with their health and their diet. And might be that one of those dominant people who wants to shine in their workplace, regardless whether they're in a leadership position or a subordinate, subservient role. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for having the Sun in Leo and a Pisces Ascendant in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about having a Virgo Sun and an Aries Ascendant in a natal chart. 2 things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart, and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.